Screen actors, what's easier to do? To memorize a 20-item grocery list or an audition piece with 3 scenes and 8 pages of dialogue? If you said the audition piece, you're correct. In this video, you're going to learn how to memorize any number of lines without memorizing words. I'm Louis DeBianco, and this is my channel, Screen Acting Success. This is where you come every Friday for more tips, techniques, and secrets to help you become a more compelling, working screen actor in demand. If this is your first time here, click subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. Hey, stick around to the end, because I'm giving away some free training that you are not going to want to miss. Why is it easier to learn 8 pages of dialogue as opposed to a 20-item grocery list? Very simple. The 20 items on the list are not connected in any obvious way. When you know how to approach your acting work and your scenes, you will find one emotional thread that tells a story that connects all of the dialogue together. And as I'm indicating with my finger, I'm going to call that the Ark method. You're going to know your story from beginning to middle to end. Let's use this analogy before I show you the Ark Image. Let's say you're going to go on a trip. You've never been to your destination before, but you don't bother with a map or a GPS. Just get in your car and start driving. Well, you're soon going to become confused, frustrated, and lost. And that's what happens when actors jump in and they just try to memorize their dialogue, their words. Now, let's look at this image of an ark. Very simple image to remember. And it essentially has 3 important points: beginning, middle, and end. And when you break your scenes down into essential landmarks that belong at the beginning, the middle, and the end, each one of those landmarks being important emotional moments, then you have an emotional thread that connects the entire piece together. 1 scene, 2 scenes, in our case 3 scenes, and that emotional thread tells one story. Another reason this will be so easy to learn lines like this is because when you break it up into segments of 3, beginning, middle, and end, there is a power in the number 3. The human mind likes that number, and we learn things in patterns of 3 very, very easily. If you want to know more about that, just Google it, and there are many, many articles about the psychology behind it. But now, I'm going to give you a very specific example. This is not just theory. This is from the real world. As you know, I coach professional actors, and I put a lot of them on tape for their self-taped auditions. One of them is a very dear friend of mine. His name is Mr. Ron Lee, L-E-A. Look him up on the IMDb. You'll see that he has at least 210 very serious credits, film and TV, including being a lead actor in several television series. Well, the other day, he gets a call from his agent late in the day. Hey, we need you to self-tape by tomorrow. I think it had to be done by 1 in the afternoon, if not earlier. And you've got to be off book, of course. You're reading for a lead in a mini-series, and you only have 8 pages of dialogue to learn. Less than 24 hours. Now, let's get this into perspective. Using the image again of the grocery list versus the scenes with all of the words in them. A grocery list might have 20, 30, maybe 50 words tops. In Ron's case, the 3 scenes together had, well over 700 words. And yet, we use the Ark method for him to learn and really be on target very, very, very fast. So when he arrived at my studio to shoot the audition, he was a little apprehensive, and he was talking a lot about the dialogue, the lines. And I said, let's forget about that. Let's not focus on that right away. Let's find the arc of the three scenes. What story does the arc tell us? And I'm just going to put one of the pages of his scenes up here on the screen. And you'll see that three different sections have the word Randy next to it. That's his character. That's to give you an idea of how much dialogue he had on every single page. That's a lot of words to learn. First, let's talk about what he was literally doing in each scene. At the beginning of the first scene, he is coming to a house where his daughter is, and he hasn't seen her in a long time. She's going to sell the house that they used to live in, and he wants to come in and see the place, and his daughter's kind of cold to him. In the second scene, he's driving his little granddaughter to school, and they're talking about the songs that she is writing. And in the final scene, he's back at the house with his daughter, and he's trying to convince her to stay in this small town and not leave. Now, those are the literal things that are happening in the scenes. But if we want to learn the dialogue, we don't want to focus on just the facts, the literal events of the scenes. So we went a step deeper and we found the why of each scene. And by doing that, we found Randy's intention, which connected the character and the actor to the powerful emotional thread that unifies all three scenes. Let's look at the arc that we created for the story that Ron had to learn. Scene 1 is having to win the trust of his daughter. That's what he's fighting for. In the second scene, he's not just driving his granddaughter to school. He is attempting to capture her heart. Because if he does that, then he's much closer to his daughter as well. Wins the child, he'll win the mom. And then in the final scene, if he's done all of that, he will accomplish his life and death goal of reuniting that family and keeping them together. What's at stake? If he doesn't accomplish that, he will be a lonely old man, die alone and unhappy. That is something powerful to fight for. That's the emotional thread that united all of those different scenes together. Once Ron knew that here, that he felt it in his heart, as he did each scene, the lines became necessary. Literally, when you find those strong emotional points and you feel them, you're creating magnets that will draw the lines to you when you need to speak them. How do I know? Besides the fact that it works with the actors I coach, this is the method that I learned by trial and error by working on camera for more than 40 years. And I use it all the time. Trust me, it's a liberating thing when you start to use it. So we put it into practice for Ron, and this is what happened. Not only did he have a lot of fun with the scenes, but because we had found a different emotional point for each one, each of his scenes had a totally different color, so there was a wonderful variety in his performance. It was a great audition. I'm willing to bet he's going to get a call back at least for this. And here's what's interesting. We accomplished all of that with only 8 takes. That's in total for the 3 scenes. Less than 3 takes per scene, less than 1 hour of work for more than 700 words of dialogue. And by the way, he was pretty much line perfect. Now, what I'm going to tell you is that I'm going to give you another step. Because Ron has been working for all of his life and has done so many projects that he's able to fast track his way to this result. But I'm going to give you a step besides breaking it down into the scenes, the individual beginning, middle, and end points, and creating your story arc. And that is to improvise with a fellow actor and actually paraphrase your lines. That's right, just use any words that come to mind. Because when you do that, you're making the emotional meaning of the scene deeper and deeper. And then when you really, really have it, you know exactly where you're going. You've said it in your own words. Then when you actually approach it by using the writer's dialogue, it's going to be that much easier for those lines to immediately come to you when you need them. Okay, let's do a quick review of how to approach any scenes that you're going to be working on. Number 1, you do not focus on words. You focus on finding the storyline that is an arc with a beginning, middle, and end. And at each point, the beginning, middle, and end points, you don't write what's literally happening, you write what is happening emotionally that's connected to your intention. Once you have that, you perform the scene as an improv, just paraphrasing, saying the words that, whatever words you want to use, that mean what the lines mean. And when you've done that, then you step into the scene and discover that the lines are going to just start coming to you and you will be off book. Try it. Even if you're skeptical, give it a shot. Let me know how it works for you. I know it's going to work, and it's how it's going to free you up and make you enjoy your work more and book more jobs. If you've gotten value from this, then leave a comment below so the more people can get inspired, and more people will get to see this video. And by the way, if you haven't already subscribed, do it now and give the video a thumbs up. Promised you some free training. On the screen now you see the cover of the ebook I wrote, which is an ultimate guide to self-taping. Everything from acting tips to specific info about how to get the best sound, how to achieve the best lighting. I give you a list of all of the best gear to use, and I give you a diagram of the studio setup that I'm using, the one I'm using right now to shoot this. You're free to duplicate it, and it will help you to take your self-tapes to a whole other level. The link to the book will be below. Download it, use what you learn, and start making and knock those auditions, those self-tape auditions, right out of the park. You're also going to find a link below to my latest online course, Self-Taping Mastery. That takes a deeper dive into self-taping, and it also gives you the opportunity to have me in each and every module on screen, holding you by the hand, taking you step by step. You'll be able to reach out to me with any questions you have, and I will answer them. Plus, when you see what I'm offering, you'll notice that I'm giving you some incredible bonuses. One of them is a separate course on live auditions. Everything in that course, from what to do before the audition, on your way to it, what to do in the waiting room, what to do when you're inside the room with the auditioners, and what to do after you leave the audition. I sell that course separately for $199. It's yours as a gift, absolutely free, when you enroll in Self-Taping Mastery today. So check out what I'm offering. You'll find the link below. If it's not for you, no big deal, but definitely get the book and then use everything that you learn there. I always love to end with this because it's so important about on-camera acting. The dialogue is important, but it's always secondary to the inner life which lives beneath the lines and in between the lines. So whenever you have a text in your hands, a script of any kind, always feel it first, then say it. When you feel it and then say it, you'll probably mean it, and then the chances are that you'll book it. Feel it, say it, mean it, book it. Go out, create a stellar on-camera career for yourself. Please let me know about it so I can celebrate with you and share your win with the world.